and welcome to Caliber Conversations. I'm your host, Captain Jeremy Ritchie, and today we have a couple of guests with us, which I'll introduce in a few minutes. But just to give you a heads up, we have Mayor of Bryan, Gutierrez, and also Darwin Boedeker from Boedeker. Wow, I can't get that straight, can I? I'll get it one of these times. He is the president of sales and marketing for Armalite. First off, I want to thank our sponsors. Our sponsors is Armalite, which is, you can find them at armalite.com. Also, it's the Texas Gun Shows, which you can find them at gunshows.tx.com. And also Accurate Gun Auctions, which you can find them at accurategunauctions.com. A little bit, did you know section? 4473s. A lot of people believe whenever you fill out a 4473 at the gun shop when you purchase a gun, that now your gun is registered. That is not true. That 4473 stays with the dealer. It does not go to any government entity, so the government does not know you have a firearm. The only 3 states currently that have a gun registry is Hawaii, Massachusetts, and what was the other one? The other one was New York, of course. New York, Massachusetts, and Hawaii are the only 3 states that currently have a gun registry. So just because you fill out the 4473 does not mean you are now registered as a gun owner with that information to the government. So stay safe, keep buying those guns legally through your dealer with the 4473, and the dealer will keep your information safe at his office. The only time he ever gives up that 4473 is a warrant from a police station because they want to track down a gun that the police have recovered. So speaking of that, we're going to take a quick 30-second commercial break and we'll have our guests. We'll talk to you soon.
If you're ready to turn your guns into top cash fast, Accurate Gun Auctions makes it simple, secure, and rewarding. With expert appraisals and a proven online platform, Accurate Gun Auctions connects your firearms with serious buyers nationwide, ensuring you get the best value in the shortest time. Whether you're selling one gun or an entire collection, our process is transparent, professional, and fast. So don't let your firearms sit idle. Cash in with confidence. Visit accurategunauctions.com today and see just how easy it is to turn your guns into top cash fast.
Welcome back to Caliber Conversations. We have 2 great guests. First, I'm going to introduce my good friend Darwin, and I'll let Darwin introduce the mayor of Bryan. We are in Bryan right now, and we'll be here for the next 6 weeks. The mayor was nice enough to let us use his convention center, which is a beautiful convention center, which also hosts the largest gun show in Texas every August, which will be at that also. We'll have a big-ass booth. But let me turn it over to Darwin. Darwin, welcome.
Thank you. And Jeremy was half right. He's got one amazing guest, which is the mayor, and then above average guest, which is me. The convention center space that he's talking about, that Jeremy's talking about, is actually Legends Event Center. It's a multi-use facility here in the city of Bryan. Absolutely spectacular, state of the art. And they keep it at 69 degrees, which in Texas is a miracle in and of itself. Before I introduce the mayor to you, I want to give a little back story on this gentleman. So I've been doing gun shows 25 years. And in 25 years, you can imagine the troubles that I've had in certain cities, putting on shows, keeping shows going. There's a lot of pushback in our industry. You would think just because it's Texas, it's the Wild West. The major metropolitan areas, San Antonio, Houston, Dallas, they are as liberal comes. So we've had our pushbacks over 25 years. When I came to Bryan looking for a facility large enough to do the largest gun show in Texas, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know Bobby at that time. I didn't know anybody from the city council. I didn't know anybody from Legends Event Center. From day one, the people here at Legends says, you're welcome. Let's make this a success. Let's reach out to the city. We want to introduce you to the mayor, the city council. And it was a completely different experience than anything else I've ever had. So a large part of that is to do with the man sitting here to my right. That kind of leadership comes from the top and always works its way down. And that being said, Bobby, thank you for all your help. You made last year a massive success. This year's going to be even better. So I just want you to tell the audience a little bit about kind of what you've done as mayor to bring in new business, kind of highlight how Bryan is the hottest geographical area in the state of Texas right now, with everybody from Amazon to everybody wanting to be here. Just, go ahead and let the people know exactly what you got cooking over here.
Well, I appreciate that, and we do have a lot going on over here. We have, Bryan College Station, Texas A&M, all here what we call the Texas Triangle. So if you look at Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, Austin, and Waco, and you draw a triangle around that, you look at Bryan College Station, we're
Right in
right
the
in the
middle.
middle. So we're, depending on how you want to look at it, we're in the middle of everywhere, or the middle of nowhere. But truly, for us demographically and how we are in the state of Texas, positioned between all the major populations, and 90% of the population of Texas is within this triangle. So having Texas A&M here, the research, and we are built on our core of our city of Bryan, when we helped found Texas A&M 150 years ago. When all that stuff happened, it was a military school. It was built around Department of Defense. It was built around, who we are, our constitutional rights, the things that we hold near and dear. Very conservative community. We are very, we're pro-Constitution. You don't even have to say
Right.
pro-guns, just say pro-Constitution. And how that lands up. Myself, being a gun collector for many, many years, I have a cattle company called La Pistola Cattle Company that I put up my pistol collection up to buy the first 100 head of cows. So we call it La Pistola Cattle Company, and it's just built on the foundation of family. It's built on the foundation of Department of Defense, Futures Command, T2Com that we have here at Relish. We have the training grounds, and we just have a lot of stuff going on right now. It's truly one of those places, if you want to find what's going on around anything, this is going to be a research here at Texas A&M. There is no other research institute with the largest campus, 80,000 students here. It's just an incredible place to be at the right time, where everything is happening. All the announcements that are already happening if and around our area is just going to transform us for the next 100 years.
What are some of the major corporations that you're kind of working on to get to come to this area? I know y'all just got Amazon not too long ago.
We just got Amazon. We just did the ribbon cutting on Amazon. New facility right now is what they call the last mile. Yep. And probably went up faster than anything I've ever seen go up. We look around at this spot right here. We did this 3 years ago, because I was right when I became mayor. The previous mayor, Andrew Nelson, was very instrumental in making this thing happen. And what generally happens, we get all the credit, but it was the people before us that did all the hard work. So I always tell our council, don't take responsibility, don't take credit for stuff
Right.
that the people before us did to pave the way to get this thing happen. But Mayor Nelson at the time was very instrumental in having this happen. I was on council, but we did this and we made this thing happen. We took the amount of money we had to shrink it down a little bit. We wish we would not have you
Oh,
know
yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah.
And now we're trying to figure out how do we expand it, because it wasn't supposed to make money for 4 years. We were making money in 6 months.
Nice.
And turned around. Our staff that we have here is second to none, as
Absolutely.
you've noticed. One of the things that I told them that was a big goal of mine is I want a gun show here. I want to have a gun show here in the city of Bryan. I want something we can be proud of. For the last 45 years, I've traveled to almost every gun show there was, all over the country, doing my collection. And the one you put on was incredible. The kind of guns that I collect, you might see 2 or 3 or 4 of them, in a whole show. And I mean, I saw 100 of them, and I could pick and choose what I wanted to look at. And then you saw me selling
Oh, yeah.
some of mine to go buy something that I really wanted.
Right.
It's like, I'll get rid of these toys over here to get this one toy. And it's an incredible ride. I appreciate you doing it the way you did it. Truly was very well organized. The people that you brought in, I would call this more of a collector show than I would just a
Yeah.
gun show.
Absolutely. It was a great show.
I did share a little story with them before you got here about how I watched the mayor of Bryan turn into a 15-year-old kid.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Guy, so excited. You couldn't chisel the smile off of his face.
It was incredible.
So, no, but I mean, obviously, we could not have done it without your support. Destination Bryan, those people over there that you got me in contact with, from setting up all the hotels, all of that stuff that you need in place to make a show of that size a success, has been nothing but incredible. So thank you for that.
We have a great team. I mean, we truly do have a great team. And when you say it comes from the top, it comes from the bottom. we get all the credit. They do all the work. It's truly one of those things that, it takes an army to make these things happen. And you saw the transition from one day to the next.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't think you could get the stuff taken down in quick enough time to get you guys in.
Yep.
And they worked 24 hours, got it put together. And
So we have videos. We have videos of their staff actually tearing and setting up
Nice.
the tables, and to the amount of space. I know firsthand how much time it takes, and
Oh yeah.
setting up a show of this size, and they just absolutely killed it. Their timeline, it was a well-oiled machine. We rented all these tables. You know you're doing something right when you have to rent tables via 18-wheelers.
Mm-hmm.
So we had 3 18-wheelers full of tables, and these guys took them off, set them up. They had it fine-tuned, and it was up in a day.
Put down a floor to protect the court.
Absolutely.
I mean, you not only host a gun show, you host the largest gun show in Texas, which is something. The first show out fits its needs and
Well-
becomes the largest gun show in Texas.
And like the mayor was saying, they wish they would have made it larger. I'm beating them up every
Right.
week.
We-
When
Oh,
we
yeah,
going
'cause
to
you
get
coulda
more
had the
space?
largest
When we
gun
going
show
to
in
get
the
more
US.
space?
well, we're working on that now at this
Yes.
point too. We're trying to figure out solutions to do that. It's you bring in a really good clientele. So
Yes.
you're bringing in a clientele that truly has money there, and people don't understand the economic impact of a show
Absolutely.
this size. The people are here for 2, 3, 4 days, 5 days.
Absolutely.
The hotels, the food, all
Restaurants,
the stuff,
yeah.
the restaurants, and the retail business that they do around here. If you don't happen to find the gun that you want or you're looking for at that show, you're going to spend money on other things because you bring the money with you.
Right.
And
You're
so
not going to go home with it.
Exactly. So it's already allocated for, and you check with the wife or the husband or whoever it may be, and this is the mad money.
And
which we're going to do.
and one cool stat is not only the amount of people. So we had a little over 17,000 people last year. We're shooting for 20 to 25,000 people this year, but it was the amount of firearms that came into the show from people looking to
Oh, yeah.
sell.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be at an all-time high, because Jeremy and I were just talking the other day how it's, people are selling. People need the money for this and that.
Absolutely.
They're selling. So it's very easy to track that, because every gun that comes in a gun show has a zip tie
Right.
put on it, and there's 500 zip ties to a package. And normally, like on a San Antonio show where we do that show once a month, we might go through 2 packages, a package and a half to 2 packages. We went through 11 packages
Yes.
for this show.
I mean, I had to go back to the bank to get more cash because we do a lot of buying when we're at these shows. and,
Exactly.
we didn't bring enough cash, so I had to
Well,
go to the
it's-
bank and get cash.
It's funny that you said that because Darwin calls me up that morning and he goes, "We need more 5s." And I'm on the
Yeah.
First Financial Bank board, and I call my guys up. It's like, "Hey,
And this is Saturday morning.
Right.
Saturday
Yeah,
morning, on
that
my
doesn't
way
happen
here.
for
On your
most
way here.
people.
on my
No.
way here," I called, the president of the bank, Nora Thompson. I called. It's like, "Hey, I don't even remember how many thousands of dollars of 5s you wanted me to get, but," and I said, "Just put it on my account and we'll sign for you." She goes, took care of it, brought all the 5s in here, gave it to
Delivered them
him.
in person.
Delivered 5s from the bank.
5,005s.
That's customer service right there.
Like that's
That's
what
what
I'm
we do.
saying. That you cannot find that anywhere else.
Right. And I have to say, what makes your gun show successful is it is a gun show. All the tables are guns or gun-related
Mm-hmm.
items. You don't have candle makers in your gun shows. You don't have sunglass people in your or coat
Shoe shine
or
people.
shoe shine, right? It's guns and gun-related merchandise. So this is a gun show like the old school gun shows, to where it is only guns and gun.
And if we're being
items.
completely transparent about it, I wasn't always like this. I wasn't always let's make gun shows guns again. As a promoter, I fell into the same swamp that all other promoters fall into,
you
where
gotta sell tables.
you got to sell tables. That's your revenue. That's how you keep your lights on. And if a table's empty, you're not making that money. So if somebody calls and they sell, I sell T-shirts and hats, and I need 5 tables, it's very hard to say no to that 5 tables for the greater good. But
Yes.
4 years ago, probably coming close to 3.5 years at least, I just said, you know what? I don't care. I don't care if I go under. I'm not proud of the product that I'm not putting out. My dad would roll over in his grave if he knew that I had sold my soul for some money. And I said, I don't care. I'm cutting out everybody that's not gun related. And I sent an email and called each one of them and texted each one of them. Thank you for your support. However, Texas Gun Shows, we've decided to change direction in our business model. and we're either going to fail or we're going to become a real gun show again. And I saw the 45% in decline.
You didn't see it long though, did you?
No, not long, but
Because now you're
a
mostly
year.
sold out.
If I could share one story that just I'll never forget, that was on Friday. I guess they were setting up, doing everything Friday afternoon. You kind of started, and I guess traditionally for gun shows, Friday is just kind of a setup day.
Yeah,
and
it's Saturday, Sunday.
and there's really nothing happens.
But you guys have 3 days.
At the end of the night, that night, I remember a lady coming up to Darwin, and she was in tears. And one of the vendors, she goes, we've never been to a gun show like this in our lives. We were afraid we weren't going to make our money back, and I have to put a new roof on my house, and didn't know if I was going to have enough money to put the new roof on the house. He goes, we made enough tonight, Friday night, to put the roof on my house. She goes, I can't tell you thank you enough. But I heard that story after story, and it just goes to the quality of the gun show that was. And I'm so proud that it's in Bryan, Texas, clearly because it's my town.
Right.
But I'm proud of it because it's who we are. We're Texas. We're United States of America, and to have good things happen like that, where people who are hard working here, and she was an elderly lady, so that's got to make you feel good.
Oh yeah, I can't help myself, man. I care so much about the product that I put out. It makes me emotional when I hear stories like that, just because I care. My daughter. Quorum, she's about to be 4, and we lost a light. That's a sign. We lost a light, but that's a sign. My daughter's almost 4, and from the age of 2.5 to 3, I literally have her walking up and down the aisles of the gun shows telling the vendors thank you.
Yes.
And when she was old enough to even talk, I would tell them thank you for your diapers, because without them we have nothing. And I kind of lump promoters into 2 categories, and those 2 categories are very, very easily defined. One is the promoter that started it, him or herself, from the ground up. The other group they've been going on long enough where they were gifted a show from their parents that started it. And it's always the first group that still cares the way they should care about vendors. It's always the people that started it from the ground up. We started with 7 tables at our first show. It's those promoters that still put on good quality shows. The other promoters that it's been passed down to the next generation that didn't have to go through the blood, sweat, and tears, and the fire and the rain, they don't treat it with the same mindset.
Yes, for a lot of promoters, it's about the bottom line,
Yep.
and that's all they care about. They don't care about the vendors. They don't care about their customers. You care about the vendors. It shows in how you treat it as a gun show. You only let gun people in, and it sells out almost every show. Your tables are reasonably priced compared to everybody else because you care about the vendors.
Which means we can go up, Mayor. Did you hear that? No, I'm just playing.
Your admin for the customers, for the consumers, is reasonable. You let somebody that buys a ticket on Saturday come in for free on Sunday if they want to come get a second look at that firearm they're going to buy. You put out a great product. In my business, Accurate Gun Auctions, we've been around to different gun shows throughout the states, and you put on a great product. And one thing I do like about your product is you treat all your vendors the same, and you don't take advantage of your vendors, nor do you take advantage of being the promoter. A lot of promoters out there will be the first table in and grabbing all the guns that customers are coming in to sell, right? And so, but you let them walk around and let the other vendors have an opportunity to buy those guns before you decide to buy them.
Absolutely.
Other vendors, they're waiting and they're pushing the consumer to sell to them that they're going to give them the best price, and you let everybody walk around and make their own decision on who gives them the best price to sell that gun.
Not every show is a selling show. You do
Correct.
this long enough, you realize some shows are buying shows.
Yep.
And you got to have inventory or you don't have anything. So when you do it as long as we have, there might be shows where you may only sell 1 or 2 guns or 1 or 2 items, but you bought 15 quality items.
That's right.
And you call that a success.
And it's
Absolutely.
a massive success. So if you look at it that way, You're either buying or selling, and I come from that old school. That there's a sale made every time. Either you sell them on why they need it, or they sell you on why they don't. But there's a sale made.
Yes.
You have more success in this industry with that mindset.
Absolutely.
The only dealers that do not do well are the ones that
Are
just
strictly
sit in
selling.
their chair. They're on their phone. There's people standing around their table. They're not acknowledging them. But that comes back to a customer service side.
Always
Absolutely.
customer
We did our job by putting that person there. It's your job to sell them when
Absolutely.
they're there.
And I mean, vendors sell between vendors all the time. And if you're not a vendor buying from another vendor, you're missing out.
Yep.
'Cause you
100%.
can buy something from this show that's not going to be at the next show and sell it at your table at the next show.
Well, perfect example of that is the last San Antonio show we had. And San Antonio is our only show where we do it once a month, every month.
Okay.
So it's the first weekend of every month minus July, because that's when we take a family vacation. We're off in July. But that show happens every month. There was a dealer that had an old Savage 22 on his table. He had $500 on there. And I walked up to him. I said, "Hey, what's my price on this old 22? I love old 22s. You know that about me. We both do. But I said, "What's my price on this old 22?" He goes, "For you, $400." So I gave him the $400. I didn't have that gun in my possession 20 minutes, and I had 50 or 60 people ask me, "Well, what are you going to do with that 22? What are you going to do with that 22?" I go, "I'd take it down the property and shoot cactus with it or something." But the point is that dealer, even though he's a dealer, he didn't even realize what he had on his tables. And if you're not a dealer walking around shopping all other dealers' tables, there's story after story after story just like that. That gun, if I ever do sell it, that's going to be probably a $600 or $700 gun. And he didn't even know. And he's been doing it a while, but it's an old beat up 22 that, a lot of people don't see the value in that. But when I talk about old 22s, you're not buying an old 22, you're buying a memory. You're paying for a memory, because somewhere out there is a 75-year-old man that learned how to shoot clothespins off a clothesline with that 22.
Absolutely.
So you're buying the memory and not so much the weapon.
All right. So we're going to shift the focus a little bit here and talk a little bit of Armalite, because I see two Armalite guns in front of me. And Darwin, tell us about what we're looking at.
Well, I mean, obviously anything that this company does, and the mayor's been critical in bringing Armalite to Bryan and doing all we can to make it a success. But basically, they're two different platforms. One's going to be your 1022 on the bottom, the synthetic stock green one, and then you're going to have a traditional AR platform up top. The highlight to that 1022 down there is kind of how you charge it. So that is a straight bolt pull versus what you're used to seeing on a 1022. Yeah, you can turn it up. It's unique in that people that operate these, that run these a lot, you can shoot them and suppressed. They're incredible guns, but that's so much easier to get to that charging port than what 1022 designed. It's unique, and it's threaded on the end, so you can suppress that. This top one, we brought this more for the suppressor on the end. So if I unscrew that, there's a bushing that looks like a regular flash suppressor. Go ahead and hand it to me, Mayor. And then I'll go ahead and take it off. When you unscrew this, there's going to be a bushing that goes on the end of your gun that looks like a traditional flash suppressor. But what's
Absolutely.
cool about this is these threads are almost universal with a lot of cans that are out there. So instead of being forced to buy one particular can for one platform, you can buy this bushing and it's going to fit most cans out there. So it gives you the leeway to kind of do your own shopping for whatever you want.
Can we fire it with just the bushing on it without a can?
Yeah.
So it
for
works
sure.
as a
A
flash.
flash suppressor.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
So go ahead, man.
I'd like to say real quick too, because when we were talking to this company, I guess 3-4 years back, about moving them from Phoenix, Arizona to Bryan, Texas, to set up their manufacturing here. I think particularly for this audience, because these are going to be gun guys.
Absolutely.
When you say AR-15, everybody assumes assault rifle.
Yep.
So the AR-15 is Armalite 15. It was that version of that rifle that was made. And I think for the people who are out there, truly out there watching this thing, whenever you say AR, I mean, think we should just go back to saying Armalite. Armalite 15. There is no such thing as assault rifle because thing is sitting right here. It's not going to assault any one of us.
Yep.
The person is the assault person. It's not the rifle. It's not
That's
the
right.
gun. But Armalite was the inventor of this, and Armalite deserves, rather than being put in as a assault rifle, it should be Armalite 15.
Absolutely.
So as the people are out there, whoever is listening to this thing, understand that this is the platform that started it all. It is the premier. It's the nicest of all. I want to say it's the nicest, but I would put it up with any of them.
Absolutely.
And it's the nicest made in Bryan.
Yes.
And clearly one of the nicest, and we do actually have a couple of other manufacturers, Bryan. I shouldn't even say that, but we do truly have some great manufacturers here, and we want to cluster this in this area. If you're a manufacturer that's out there looking for something, looking for a place to go, this is a community that's very gun friendly. We're a very conservative community. We're built on, like I said, Texas A&M, Department of Defense, War. We have graduates here from our ROTC, the Corps Cadets, which I was in the Corps Cadets at A&M as well, and graduate more leaders, more, people from the Army, Navy, Marines, everything than West Point, than the Naval Academy. We graduate more people that are going into the service than anywhere in the country. So it's truly, for us, it's an honor to serve, and this is a place that you can land and be happy landing in a place.
So you'd probably welcome any Massachusetts gun manufacturer that's
Absolutely.
tired of Massachusetts continuing to add more and more gun rules
Colorado,
and gun
too.
regulations.
Exactly. I mean, so there's
to
so
your
many,
state
and
or
we
to your
hear, and we graduate 25,000. We have our engineering department, 25,000, students a year that are in here. So if you're looking for qualified help for workforce and everything else, our biggest export in Bryan College Station is talent. We have 85,000 students at Texas A&M. It's between 80 and 85,000 just at Texas A&M. Then we have Blinn that's 15,000. Then we have Relish that's another 5,000. So the student population here, the talent population that we have here, and these are high performing. I mean, to get into Texas A&M, I got in. I couldn't get in now, like I got in back then. And I have friends of mine who are 4.0s and can't get in. They're kids, 4.0s and can't get in right now. But it's very competitive. We have very high quality students, but we have the talent, we have the workforce to do the things we do, and we have the mentality. This is a hard working community where we're just, we're built on the way things work.
Yes. And
Get it done. They're built on the get it done attitude.
I mean, Bryan's centrally located in Texas, but Texas itself is also centrally located within the United States. Shipping-wise, you're 2 days to anywhere in the United States.
Exactly.
So great place for a manufacturer to have its hub, to build it in Bryan, Texas, and then ship it out to wherever it needs to go and get there within 2 days. Anything that's built in California to go to New York, you're looking at 5 days to get there. From Bryan, Texas, it's 2 days.
Yep.
So it's a great place for manufacturing to come and open up shop.
And going back to the import side of things, like we get to, from here, it's only an hour and 20 minutes to George Bush
Yeah.
Intercontinental, where we go back to the freight department and pick up those shotguns when it comes in. So, I mean, it is centrally located, super easy to get to. And just a one, not only that, but it's a beautiful part of Texas. Where you get down in South Texas, yeah, I love to hunt. That's where my heart is. But everything's brown. Everything's brown and wants to bite you.
Right.
Well, over here, I mean, everything's green. I mean, there's not a lot of green in Texas, but there's plenty of green around this area.
So, Mayor, your term is almost up, and you have a lot of big projects going on. What's going to happen to those projects in the year?
Well, I mean, you asked me that earlier, and I was we've got to figure out. So I thought some of these really large, multi-billion-dollar projects would be closed out by now. These take time, and economic development takes time on its own, and so we're trying to work with these different projects. One of the things we have out at Relish, going back to all this, we have the Semiconductor Institute out at Relish now that was just awarded $250 million by the state and the federal government. We have the Nuclear Institute that's gone out, that's opening in Relish as well. We have the training grounds. So when you talk about national security and defense, Relish itself is the proving grounds for the Army, for anything, any company. If you're building a gun like this, a new platform, new whatever, and you want to test it, and it's going to go for, DOD.
Right.
You can come here, you can test it out here. We have unmanned vehicles, we have all this stuff, but we also have a manufacturing capability right there. So just-in-time manufacturing, that if you break a clip and you got to wait 10 weeks to get that clip made and everything. We have the deal. If you just give us the specs, we can make it for you right
can
there.
make it
So
for
you
us.
never stop your research, because we want to know before we have 2 years in the research and development into it, is it going to work or is it not going to work? So this is where it happens. So that's a long story for saying we have these big projects happening. I have got a great council. I truly have got a great council. We are all business people. We all care about it. That's very rare in councils today.
When everybody's on the same team and playing.
Everybody's on the same team and everybody's striving for the same goal. We have like my granddad said, think 100 years out.
Right.
Don't think about what's going to benefit you today, because that's for self. He goes, think 100 years out, have a 100-year plan, implement it 10 years at a time. Things are going to change, technology is going to change, wants, needs are going to change, but if you can still keep that goal, but just implement it 10 years at a time, you'll get to somewhere. But if you're just reacting to everything, you're going to just bat across the bottom and never going to get anywhere. These big projects have a human component with them as well. They have the people that they're dealing with, the people that they know and they trust. When you have conversion, when you have a transfer of leadership and everything else, people get very worried about that.
Correct. And sometimes things fail and get lost.
Exactly,
And shuffle.
and you don't want it to be your fault, or you don't want it to be somebody else's fault. It's not fair to the next person coming in. My granddad always said, leave it better than you found it. No matter what you do, leave it. If you look at all my stuff on social media, I end everything with leave it better than you found it.
And you have succeeded already in that. You have, if you were to leave next year, you leaving it better than when you found it.
Yes, I feel
But-
like we've done a whole lot. I'm going to be judged on some crazy stuff, but we have literally brought billions of dollars of new
Absolutely.
money, new stuff into here. But what they're going to judge me on is a Waffle House. And so we're going to get a Waffle House. That's going to happen. We're going to announce it before all this stuff is, that is going to happen. But that's the crazy stuff that people really care about.
Right.
Yeah.
And unless I get these things knocked down in the next month,
Yep.
I'm absolutely going to be running again to get them across the finish line, because we're talking about thousands of jobs. And, one of them is 1,200 jobs, 200,000 average income. Another one is 5,000 jobs, 125,000 average income. These are things that change your whole population, change what you can do. Not only that, but we get judged on quality of life. We don't get judged, cities do two things, safety and services. That's all we do. But everybody wants the quality of the stuff, the new parks, the new this, the new, the beautification things. That's on the taxpayer. But they also want us to cut the taxes. So, and I'm all for that too, because nobody likes paying taxes.
No.
But it's a trade-off. So
Absolutely.
the only way you can do these things, these big projects like this, to have that quality of life, is having these big companies in, paying that, the sales tax, the ad valorem tax, the things that drive and make excess happen, that you can do good things.
Well, very good. Well, you heard it here first on Caliber Conversations. The mayor is going to run for re-election. We wish you the best of luck, and
you.
we'll have you on when it's in the heart of election time. We'll have you back on and see if we can talk about what's going on during the election.
I'd love to.
And other than that, I thank you for joining us today. And Darwin, as always, thanks for joining us. And we'll be again here next week. And remember, take care of our sponsors, Texas Gun Show, which can be found at gunshowstx.com, Accurate Gun Auctions at accurategunauctions.com, and of course, Armalite, which will be found at armalite.com. We'll see you guys next week, and have a good week, and get out to the range if you have time. Talk to you soon, guys.